on now.
They have strong safety programs.
There we go.
This is back in
Yep, we are on.
1998
we're
or
live.
99.
Wow.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the North Branford Conservation and Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency to order. Again, this meeting on Wednesday, April 26, 2023, at approximately 6:31 p.m. First thing I'd like to do is after calling to order, do a roll call of everyone sitting here this evening. So we have regular members Ashley Joyner, Frank Pagano, Bill Galdenzi, and I want to welcome Bob Whitworth, a brand new member, to join us. We also have, to my right, we have Marie Diamond, who is our liaison from the town council. We have David Perkins, who is our town planner, wetlands administrator, and zoning officer. And we have Michelle Pollack, who's our recording secretary. I am Steve Scavell, who's chairman for this evening's meeting. Next thing we like to do is Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item would be the minutes of the meeting of March 22nd, 2023. So I will not vote on them. I will abstain since I was not present there, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes
Okay.
of March 22nd.
And I'm the only one here who could second them, so I'll second them.
You second them? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I abstain also. We have 3 abstainers, so
Well, then
no
I
problem,
don't
they
know
pass.
if it passes.
Can I ask a question, though? The minutes of January 25th, I thought those weren't, were as amended, that's why it's attached like this?
It would be.
Because I thought these were going to be retyped or.
Not to my knowledge. Usually they're posted and then amendments are made and it's just posted with the new.
Okay, cool. I just didn't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
with the
I'm fine.
changes.
I was just
Good, all right,
curious.
no, good question. Okay, now we're gonna move on to item 4, which is.
Yeah,
Yes, they were. Yeah.
It looks like it got approved if I'm reading here.
Well, unless we need to vote on them
Oh, we
separately.
got to vote on these, so yes,
Right.
all in favor, aye, I guess.
Okay, which we did. Okay. So then, again, those minutes are accepted of March 22nd. Anyway, we're going to move on to item 4, old business, which I see there is none. So we're going to move to item 5, new business, which there also is none this evening. Number 6, we'll go to Wetland Enforcement Officer's Report. So starting with item A, violation at 213 Forest Road.
So I've been in discussions with them, they're working on a plan, they haven't done anything. Again, it's like pushing a wet noodle. The good thing is that it's sort of status quo. It's difficult to get people to move without, I write them a letter and I talk to them and I have a difficult conversation and we're getting there. I have a dialogue open and, it's something that we need to get done this summer.
Are you going to suggest that they need to refill in the culvert they created?
Yes.
And what about the trees that they pulled down? I know the neighbor was concerned about that, and that's within the 100-foot.
Well, the tree was a danger, so it's a good thing the tree came out, but that's gonna be part of the whole project, because there's a pipe under the driveway and there's water coming down, and that probably could get tied into the whole plan with pond to make it work.
But they will bring the plan to us before they proceed further.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Again, it's a matter of, it's difficult.
Yeah, there's not been a lot of cooperation from that gentleman over the years, so we appreciate anything you can do to.
So we're getting
Get it moving.
Getting a dialogue, I'm getting a conversation,
exactly.
and it's a matter of getting them on my team and getting it to work.
Very good. Hopefully you have some success there. It would be nice to just get this off our agenda. Anyway, thank you, David. Next, we're going to move on to item B, which was the removal of culverts at 127 Forest Road, 363 Tucket Road.
And again, that's an ongoing project, and I think we really probably want to wait and do it in like August, when the flow is the least in the river.
But
He's supposed to come here though and give us a plan.
We'll get a plan before that.
because it has to be approved before he does it in August, if that's the one he does it.
Correct, and we've done some work with the DEEP in terms of getting permits and talking to the Army Corps with the Land Trust, because the Land Trust is interested in getting it done, and it sort of behooves us to, you know, it's not our requirement to do the homework, but it's gonna make it a whole lot easier if we as staff get the approvals and work with Land Trust so that it's all ready to go.
But if I remember correctly, it'll have to be done, completed by the end of September, correct?
Yes,
All right, so there won't be an issue with that,
there will not be an issue with that.
okay?
I'm really adamant that this needs to be done this summer. It's part of the Farm River project that you've been involved with, Frank.
Right.
And there's been a bunch of meetings over the last 3 or 4 weeks of sort of an ad hoc group working on it, working on the river. And this is definitely one of their subjects, is to get that fixed.
Okay.
But we want to do it at the right time, and we want to do it the right way. And again, we're dealing with somebody who doesn't really want to do the work. There is a bond for the subdivision that sort of states that it's like final subdivision cleanup money. So there is sort of $10,000 out there as a surety bond. Surety bonds are difficult because they need to be in place from the beginning of the project to the end of the project. However, there's an annual premium that needs to be paid, and typically those annual premiums don't get paid. And there's no way that the insurance company or I can force them to pay it, but the insurance company is still on the hook, and if they have to go and do the work, they're gonna have to go back after the applicant.
And sue the applicant,
Right.
yeah.
You know, it's not like there's $10,000 cash in a bank that I can just grab.
But it's obviously in everyone's best interest for them to complete the work, and then they can release we can release the bond.
It's like, but in this case, you know, I know that he hasn't paid the premium
Right.
for this second year. And
Does our,
they're after him to pay it, and he doesn't want to pay it because, you know, it's complicated.
the Army Corps have to design it, or do they oversee it, or they just?
I believe that the Army Corps, we can just do a self sign off.
Okay, they don't have to get involved in the designer. I was gonna say, we're gonna try to meet in September, that may take longer if
No,
they're
I think
involved with their,
I don't think the
because
Army
it's not a
Corps-
priority for them. Yeah, I didn't think so,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Because I didn't know if they have to actually issue the permit for this, or no, or
There
they
would
just
be
do
no
all-
permit needed
they-
from the Army
okay,
Corps.
Okay,
But
that's good, because,
I've had that conversation.
Yeah,
okay.
okay, good.
So we do sort of want to get by the floodplain people in Connecticut, but that should be relatively easy.
Okay.
It's still a matter of going in there, and as Ashley said, you know, we need a plan. What are you actually going to do?
So the sooner they come up with that, you still think there's plenty of time to get this done by August?
Yes.
Good, very good. Okay, if there's no more discussion on item B, we can move to item C, which is discussion regarding publication of homeowners' guide to wetlands and buffers.
Sorry, you want me to talk about it? So this is a collective effort. I want to thank my co-authors on this, Bob Okari, who's a retired deep employee. He was in the Fisheries Division. Greg Sharp, who's an environmental attorney, and Donna Pursley, who's on the Conservation Commission here and does a number of things. We put this together as a property owner's guide, trying to explain to them in layman's terms what the law is regarding wetlands and point out the do's and don'ts, and of course, if they have any questions, to default to calling the town, specifically the town planner. The latest version was sent a few weeks ago. I had made some minor edits, English edits. I have a good teacher at the end of the computer that edits my things, so I'm used to editing things. And But, you know, what I'd like to see is this be approved, that this gets made in a pamphlet like Dave mocked up, that we take and have it in all the public buildings within North Branford, and for such example, the library, the park district, town hall, et cetera, the post office if possible, and then even maybe get it published in the Pawtucket Times.
Or as an insert.
Yeah.
Insert it in the
Pawtucket
Pawtucket
Times.
Times, something like, whatever makes sense, but it may even have to be done annually, because people just don't understand.
Oh, absolutely. Plus you get people moving into town, especially
Yeah.
young people have no clue. I agree.
And I wish there was a way of doing something with real estate agents, so when people buy homes, they have this, not that they're gonna read it, but I really think one of the issues we have, like we had with recently, is real estate agents do not inform the buyers
Mhm.
that they're buying property that's
Yeah.
subject to these regulations. But I'd like to see this to get approved and move forward.
I wouldn't mind going around talking to the real estate agents.
I'll go with you.
Bunch in their offices. that
We
they
got a
may
number
have.
of them that live in North
Mhm.
Branford, so.
I think we probably have money in our budget that we could actually print, 500 of them, 250 of them.
But it would be nice if we could do it with,
Yeah.
like you laid it out, maybe with a little picture or two in there if it's possible of the Farm River or something like that.
More graphics than I gave you?
Well, you know what I mean.
Okay, so then you're saying we don't have the budget to put it into the Pawtucket Times?
I don't know what that would cost, but I'm saying I'm sure we have money that I can find.
Well, maybe if we talk to Frank, we
Yeah,
can
does
do
it-
it as a letter to the editor or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would it cost? Could we?
Well, if it's an insert, it would.
Oh, an insert, yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
But, the town advertises in the Pawtucket Time all the time. Every edition has almost a whole page with the park district.
Yeah.
So there should be a
That's
way
what I
of
mean, yeah.
adding this, and there's also a large section for the, now I always get the name of the group wrong, but the group that handles the recycling
Yeah.
and all of that. So there should be a way to get it into the Pawtucket Times. I wouldn't put it in the Sound, though. I
Yeah.
don't think that makes sense, but Pawtucket Times, definitely.
Well, I will talk with them and see what we can do.
Okay.
Very
Great,
good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
So do we need a motion to approve this, or
It'd probably be best if we
Yeah,
did,
I think,
so it comes from the
do
agency.
you want to make
Sure.
motions since I
I
wrote it?
move
absolutely.
I move that we amend the agenda to add 5A under new business, discussion and action regarding publication of homeowners' guide to wetlands and buffers.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. That
Okay, and
motion
now
passes.
do we have any more discussion on 5A?
No, thanks for doing this, though.
Okay,
Good
I
idea.
move that
This is
we
excellent.
Yeah, it is.
approve the publication of the homeowner's guide to wetlands and buffers, and that we get it published and see if we can get it into the Pawtucket Times for all homeowners in the town to have.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Thank you.
Great job.
Yeah, good job.
Bill,
I
I
did.
Bill?
figured I'd better put that on the
Yeah,
agenda.
no, you know what, it's better to get in the minutes. No, that's good, that's a
Put it
good
on the agenda
idea.
first.
It's better to get it on the agenda and then,
I wouldn't have known to do it the right way.
that's good. That's why we have a teacher here, she's always very procedural oriented. All right, let's move on to item D, which is DA approval of 12 Edward Road, IWWA application 2023-4, installation of in-ground pole.
So there was an in-ground pool application for 12 Edward Road. The pool was probably about 50, 60 feet away from a water course.
From a water course or from an upland review area?
It was in the Upland Review area.
I don't know where Edwards Road.
Do you-
Within,
Yep.
the wetland stopped at the edge of the water course. So
Okay.
the Upland Review area started at the
Okay.
edge of the water course and proceeded 100 feet away.
And I'm assuming you approved this already?
I approved it, yes.
Okay, do they know that they are not to drain the pool towards the river?
Correct,
Okay,
yes. We put up a silt fence. It's all very flat, so there is no drain towards the water course.
Right, but still, a
Backwash
lot
the
of pool
filter.
owners will drain and go either into the.
You
the,
backwash the filter, and
Right.
it puts
but
all the.
Not just backwashing the filter,
Yeah.
like they'll
Yeah,
do
or
a
the drain,
full
yeah.
wash.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they'll drain their entire pool. My neighbor decided that they were going to hire a company, and they put these long hoses all the way to my pond, which would have killed all of my pond. Until one of my other neighbors said, you can't do that. And they're like, but it's a water course, we were gonna drain it into there. No, because it has chemicals in it.
Right.
So they know that they can't drain towards the river,
Yeah.
Including the backwashing.
right?
So where does the backwash go?
Luckily, depending on the filter, if it's like a diatomaceous, they self-back, you know, you
Oh,
mean,
did they?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't, they don't, all
the
the
newer
modern
ones.
designs, you don't discharge anything.
Yeah, haven't had a pool in 30 years.
It's
I
a
don't know.
container.
Unless, I'm not talking about like if you have a pool failure, or you have, like
Yeah, yeah,
Ashley's saying, but typically you don't lose anything really. All the modern, like I said, all the diatomaceous surf filters, so. Because I checked it, I have one, but I checked it Aquatic, and I asked, I went there, just wanted to know, I said, explain to me the ones that you sell and install in town, because they're one of the biggest installers, and they, there's been regulations that have minimized.
makes sense.
Well, that's good then.
Or eliminated that, but that could happen, like you said, especially if someone has.
If
a
they
new-
drain it and then refill it.
Right, or
So-
like when they change their liners, that's, that happens, so, you have to neutralize, what Aquatic does anyway, that you have to neutralize a chlorine, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
And you can do that, and then find a way either to siphon off the water, of course, you never want to discharge anything in a wetland, even if it's neutralized, but,
But
anyway,
they
I just,
also add pool stabilizers.
right,
too,
there's other chemicals.
Which are not neutralized when you take
Right,
out the chlorine.
true. So, very good point.
Okay.
Okay, I guess that's all I can see on the agenda, unless there's anything else. Yes,
Yeah, I
sir.
just, because I'm new here, I wanted to spend just a few minutes, if I could, on the record. This is partially in response to your inquiry just before the meeting. I, in addition to whatever background I may have, which can be of any benefit to this committee, I do have some side interests that I think are companion to this. So, for example, I'm very familiar with the geology of Connecticut. It seems to be a hobby of mine. And our area, our valley, has some very unique geology. And I think you're familiar with our basalt trap ridges, the history behind that. I don't know if you know that the eastern border fault runs right along here. It runs from here all the way up to Keene, New Hampshire. It's a very significant geological feature. And, the glaciers have done their thing here many times over, not just once. So a lot of what we see is shaped by these glaciers and the faulting and whatnot. It's fascinating history. When you actually think about it, North Branford could easily open a geology center. You could. And to talk about the unique geology of Connecticut. But I do think a lot of the features that we have, they're worth preserving, they're worth cherishing, because as I drive through our town, to the trained eye, you can see things. But somebody else would just drive right by it, like they wouldn't even think twice about it. I see the drumlins, I see the topsoils, I see the glacial boulders, and I know how that got there. So I definitely have an appreciation for the work of this committee, and I'm very happy to join.
Thank you. Good to hear.
Fantastic, again, welcome.
And how about, do we have a report from Earth Day? Or do we have
Oh,
a commendation to our
Sure,
people
so.
who did Earth Day?
We did Earth Day.
Yeah, Ashley and I participated in Earth Day. It was held with, in conjunction with the opening of Little League Baseball, so there was like a gazillion.
Huge crowd.
Oh,
Gazillion
good time,
kids.
good timing.
There were groups, a number of environmental groups there. I mean, there was Nature Works, there was us, there was the fire department, there was the waste
The
people.
recycling.
Recycling people. Who else?
The Has Waste and Recycling, the Land Trust.
Land Trust was there, and a couple others. And we got a halfway decent turnout, and I did hand out, for your permission, I did hand out some of these.
So people were excited that they got a preview of
Yeah,
what's
got
coming.
preview.
They got a swag,
A
right?
few people
Yeah.
got them. And we were lucky, we were next to the fire table. and-
Because they had a lot of
'cause they-
giveaways.
They had a lot of giveaways, like fireman hats
love
and
that.
stuff like that, so all the kids were coming up, so. And we were talking, Ashley was doing a great job pointing out where the wetlands were and everything. So I thought it was, very well done. It was really nice, and it was nice that it was coordinated with,
With all the other groups.
yeah, at Wall Field. Yeah, it was really nice. Bill Savastini, I think spearheads that with Donna Pursley, and it was very, very well done. Thank you for bringing that up.
Very good.
It's gonna be short.
I know. I was gonna say, it's almost like you
Don't
almost
jinx it.
feel guilty before 7. This is a good first meeting for you, Bob. I'll tell you. Hopefully, you'll bring us this luck
No, this is
moving
how
forward.
it's
You know.
gonna be. It's not till
Really,
like
it's not a
midnight.
4-hour committee like the
No.
building committee?
Past nine, so
Planning and
sorry.
zoning.
Where you leave like.
Planning and zoning.
I think we
taking
need
your
it, yes.
notes.
So I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Very good.